Three, two, one.
We live.
What's going on, Pops?
Assalamu alaikum,
Yes, sir.
son.
Back at it again.
Back at it
Pops.
again.
What's going on? Yes, sir.
Nothing much, son. Monday afternoon, 12 o'clock. We live, TwoTreys.
Yes, sir.
Let's get it cracking.
What's going on, YouTube? Welcome to TwoTreys podcast. I'm Son Trey, and here with me always is Pops Trey.
Salute.
And we are on episode 6.
6 in the place. Yes,
sir.
yes. Indeed. How was your weekend, son?
I can't complain. It's a good weekend.
Good.
You know, just enjoyed it. Because we didn't go live this weekend. So I just took the time to actually take in everything we spoke about last week.
Right.
Yeah, it was a lot. We talked about a lot.
Indeed.
And then just trying to internalize the experience. This has been awesome so far.
Yeah. Myself as well, you know, I had a productive weekend, but overall, as far as the reviews goes and everything like that, from what people were saying, everything is positive, man. We're on a good track.
Yes, sir.
All right, let's get things started.
All right,
son.
Pops. So you want to go ahead? Yes, sir. Let's get into it. So if you want to take lead on what we do this for, let the people know.
Sure.
Why we're doing this in the first place.
Absolutely. Our purpose basically is to inspire and bridge the gap between youth and elders, fathers and sons, perspectives of truth versus the falsehoods, and to reflect love and peace with the black male/community. So everything is peace in retrospect.
Awesome. So yeah, guys, we do this to give you guys a unique perspective from me and my pops. So we just hope you guys enjoy. So let's get into it. We have the honorable mention for Black History Month for today.
Absolutely. You want to pull them up?
Yes, sir. I already got the image. You start talking, and I'll go ahead and pull that up for us.
All right. Today we are recognizing the brother by the name of Louis Mubarak. Louis Mubarak Fall. Last name is Fall. Louis Mubarak Fall, aka Battling Siki, was born in 1899 in Senegal, then a French colony. Though the teenager's journey to France is full of mystery, he ends up in Marseille and works as a diver in a cafe in order to survive. One evening, while he was on duty, he was allegedly provoked by drunken customers, whom he hit with his bare hands. Thanks to the force of his punches, it is said that he was spotted by a boxing coach who happened to be in the crowd. This marks the birth of Battling Siki. His career rapidly progressed following his various victories, but he puts his obligations on hiatus during the First World War, where he was forced to join the ranks of the Senegalese tirailleurs. He subsequently rose to such great success that he would have to fight the ultimate champion of the time, Georges Carpentier. However, having abandoned boxing a little, Carpentier, the ring legend, is clearly not in a position to defeat Siki. An arrangement is then made. Siki must let Carpentier win in exchange for a bag. Finally, whether it is that Siki maintained his loyalty towards the sport or simply desired to give himself entirely to this match, he defeats Carpentier despite the arrangement. This victory will earn him to be stripped of his titles by the French Federation, as well as blacklisted from all boxing matches in France. His name will also be erased from all sports encyclopedias. Today, we remember him. Louis Mubarak Fall. Salute.
Yeah, salute to Louis Fall.
Battling Siki.
and your contributions to our history. Battle and
Absolutely.
Siki. You're given any nickname, that's a good nickname to have, you know?
Yes, yes. True indeed. True indeed. All right, son. It's been a lot going on this weekend, man. I've been hearing a lot of
You ready to
things.
get into it?
A lot of people. So
yeah.
First and foremost, man, let's just jump into this I guess what the Whoopi thing.
Yeah, so we talked about it a little bit. We touched on it last week a little bit.
Right.
So for y'all that don't, know, on Monday, January 31st, The View is a show that is broadcasted on ABC network, and essentially a show of inspirational women, and they have essentially a platform where they just discuss topics of conversation. During this aired video, the conversation was essentially about I guess the Holocaust in a sense. So essentially, like they normally do, each of the co-hosts chimed in on how they viewed the discussion. And Whoopi, of course, she had her thoughts and she shared how she felt about it. And there has been a lot of backlash since her comments. So I'll go ahead and, for the viewers, get everyone up to speed on exactly the situation. So we'll turn to Whoopi and see what he exactly had to say and why there's so much about it. And do that though. Again, it's the TwoTreys podcast. So if you're enjoying the show, please leave a like. Go ahead and leave a comment as well, and subscribe. Subscribe is the best way to actually be able to view our videos. In the best, because we like to go live with our shows. And the best to tune in live would be to subscribe, because then YouTube goes ahead and sends you a notification letting you know when that happens.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Also, in the description box below, there should be a link to channel's PayPal, and that way you'll be able to make a donation to the channel as well.
Yes, sir. We appreciate everything. Fair use. Fair use.
All right, so we're about to get that pulled up.
Fair use. Fair use. Let's see what Whoopi got to say. And what everybody got so much in the uproar.
In universities and not wanting to make kids uncomfortable. And we talked about it once here on the show with actually Van Jones, when he said, if I send my kids to school, I want them to be uncomfortable. I want people to push back on their beliefs. In other words, we're not preparing kids to go out to the real world. We're preparing them for a world that does exist inside of their own house.
Well, also, if you're going to do this, and let's be truthful about it, because the Holocaust isn't about race. No, it's not about race. It's about a different race, but it's not about race. It's not about race. What is it about? Because it's about man's inhumanity to man. That's what it's about.
But it's about white supremacy.
It's not about race. But these are two white groups of people. How do we have to black people?
White,
but you're missing the point. The minute you turn it into race, it goes down this alley. Let's talk about it for what it is. It's how people treat each other. It's a problem. It doesn't matter if you're black or white, because black, white, Jews, Italian, everybody eats each other. So is it, if you're uncomfortable about mouse, should you be worried? Should you say, oh my God, I wonder if that's me? No, that's not what they're going to say. They're going to say, I don't want to be like that. Well, yeah. Most kids, they do.
No, they don't. We're living in an era where people are
comparing vaccine cards to the yellow stars, but people are comparing.
I think we're good now, son.
Yeah.
All right.
All right.
Just wanted to let that play out. But yep, those in that video right there are apparently what caused her to be suspended for 2 weeks from the show, and is what has been leading to the backlash against Whoopi, and is the catalyst of our conversation today. So Pops, if you want to start into that, get into the nitty-gritty of that.
Sure. One thing, about myself is I am a true follower and listener to words, how they're being used, also defining words per se. So that way we'll have a broad understanding, a specific understanding of what it is in these words and what they mean and who they should be applied to. So with that being said, first thing, son, can you pull up the definition for race, please?
Gotcha.
Let's pull up the word race. Let's make sure that we use proper definitions before we use any type of give any type of opinion or thought. Let's make sure we know what these words define themselves as to mean. Because I didn't hear anything derogatory at all said about any Jewish person.
All right. All right. So I have the definition of race pulled up for you. It's a noun. Definition of race. Any one of the groups that humans are often divided into based on physical traits, regarded as common among people of shared ancestry. So that's what Webster defines as race. So
is a disparaging difference or contrast from physical characteristics, right?
Mm-hmm.
All right. Let's get into it.
It's essentially how we group people,
right?
Because it's a human concept. Like, we made it up. It's not
right.
You know what I'm saying, inherently true, but you know what I'm saying, socially it's a social truth. So again, it's how we divide groups based on their physical traits and their shared ancestry / cultural ancestry.
So help me out. Are Germans not the same as Jews? Are they two different races? I wasn't aware of German being a race. I just thought Germany was a country. And that there's a language called the German language.
Right.
But if we're speaking about physical comparisons and contrast, what is the difference between a European German and a European Jew?
From what I know, and I could be wrong, there isn't one inherently. They're not inherently different at all. Right. It's a name. Like you said, being German and it's not a race. It's your nationality. It's where you come from.
Where you were born,
right, and where you're born. And I think what you're trying to touch on is okay. So, what is a Jew? Is Jew based? Is being a Jew, is that being based on ethnicity? Is that based on race, cultural background, nationality? And I think that's where the issue is, because there is no clear defined term for being a Jew. Like you can use it in meaning someone's race, apparently, or you can mean
I thought it was just a religion.
Or in the sense of their religious background. That's the interesting part,
Right.
because essentially it is. It's kind of interesting, the backstory of actually where the race part of it came from. It didn't come from the Jewish community, them being of separate race from other European descent, people of European descent.
Right.
That actually came from the Nazi propaganda in order to justify their treatment towards Jewish people.
Okay.
So I say that to say it's very interesting to me, at least, to see them come for Whoopi when the stance of Jews being of a different race from other European descendants isn't something that was taught from Jews to Jews. It was something that was taught, like the information was given from the Nazi propaganda. They said many things about the characteristics, and they essentially attacked the identity of the Jewish community before they decided to do what we all know they did in the Holocaust, and that was all planned. If anyone knows anything about the art of war, a staple of it is the art of conquering and dividing, and the best way to do that is to tear people against each other. So essentially, where the Holocaust originally took place, so we're in Germany, you have the German Jews, and then you have, let's say like the German non-Jews. But that doesn't mean that they're inherently different when it comes to their genetic identity. That before the time of the Nazi propaganda, that just meant, hey, my religion is this and your religion is that, but we're all Germans. The separation only took place right before the Holocaust happened, and that was direct. They intentionally did that in order to justify and to kind of skew the minds of the people when it came to their acts and deeds after and during the Holocaust.
Right.
So I don't see how Whoopi's statements were. I mean, I don't see how inaccurate they were. Like she said, it wasn't in regards to race. No. As much as, like she said, this was a witnessing. This is a good example of the inhumanities we can have towards each other.
Right.
So I think, if anything, she was just clarifying for the viewers of The View and anyone that's ever watched, you know what I'm saying, that clip, that it wasn't a race thing. It wasn't, because there is no difference in race. You know what I'm saying? The German Jews were no different in ethnicity to the German non-Jews.
Right.
I just think the aftermath of this is all kind of ridiculous. Like, you know what I'm saying? She's a very educated woman, very successful woman, wise. I think Whoopi's in her upper 60s, 64, 65. So I think it's kind of crazy for them to almost kind of put her in timeout. For things that she said, like she's not the type of person to take accountability for her words and actions. I've never gotten that from Whoopi. I've always gotten from Whoopi that she's someone that tries to stay on the moral ground of situations. You know, I've tuned into The View a couple times here and there, and if anything, Whoopi is the one that is the peacemaker, the one that, you know what I'm saying, gets everything resolved. So I think it's so crazy how they have this narrative out here, essentially having Whoopi apologize and saying that, oh, Whoopi doesn't know what she's talking about, she's ignorant. Where is it? No, that's not true.
And one thing I want to point out is Whoopi has converted or professes Judaism. She considers herself to be a Jewish woman. There's a quote in her part of her biography. It says about her stage surname, because Whoopi Goldberg is not her biological name. Her real name is Karen Elaine Johnson. Now, what she says about her religious preference, about her stage surname, she claimed in 2011, my mother did not name me Whoopi, but Goldberg is my name. It's part of my family, part of my heritage, just like being black. And I just know I am Jewish. I practice nothing. I don't go to temple, but I do remember the holidays. So here's a Jewish woman who said something pertaining to the Jewish community, and now because she is not a white Jewish woman, they have now turned it into, well, she identified it that it was not about race, meaning the color of skin.
Right.
When you hear the word race, you're thinking about color of the skin, right? So she was reflecting and making notice of that specific detail that had nothing to do with the atrocities of the Jewish community in that time.
That's what's crazy to me. It's almost like they're taking the stance that she attacked that community, but like you said, she's a part of that community,
right? And she didn't so much attack.
And she didn't, and right, but like I told you before we got on the podcast, when I was researching the actual comments that she made and trying to be able to present it to you to the YouTube world, it was almost damn near impossible for me to actually find the actual clip. At a friend that was able to, a close friend, to be able to pull up the actual video for me, but if you were to go on YouTube or Google the actual incident, it's hard. It will be hard for you to find Whoopi's comments that we played here. What you will find is the aftermath. So you'll run into Whoopi apologized for her comments, and you'll see like you can find anchors from different shows comment about how, you know what I'm saying, they find what Whoopi said disrespectful. You can also find comments made by ABC's spokesman on, you know what I'm saying, how they felt about Whoopi's comments and how they feel like you know what I'm saying, like she deserves to be reprimanded and stuff like that. But it's so crazy when you can't find the other side to it. And then once you dig into the other side, you realize, well, damn, like she wasn't wrong at all.
Right.
So why are we condemning someone for speaking their truth?
Well, when it comes to the Jewish community, that is pretty much off limits. Even when you're not even degrading or diminishing what occurred. She didn't diminish, she didn't degrade the Jewish community. She just made a specific point, in fact, that how could it be something about race when they were both European?
Right.
Ashkenazi Jews are referred to or look like that in which, you know, we see the average quote-unquote Jewish person look. The locks, hair, the beard, the top hat, or the yarmulke. So, you know, when we say the word Jew, and student minister Tracy Muhammad spoke on this yesterday in the mosque. You know, when you hear the word Jew, what immediately pops up in your mind or in your brain is the picture of somebody white. You don't think of somebody being black as a Jewish person. And I just think that, this media has actually infiltrated, corrupted, and is now manipulating everything.
All right. Because I think what the reason why I think Whoopi even spoke on it in the first place was because before they got on that topic, they were speaking specifically to essentially, should kids be learning truths if it makes them feel a certain type of way about themselves?
Truth hurts. I mean, it'll only hurt, and it only should hurt. But where is that hurt coming from? Is it coming from something in which you are being, you feel like you're being attacked, or is it because of your conscience letting you know that, hey, my ancestors did something wrong, and I feel bad that they did something wrong? Well, that would be a human nature, trait to have. You should feel bad. I mean, that's what.
And like Whoopi was saying, yeah, right. And I think what Whoopi was trying to allude to in the video was essentially, we can't learn from the past, right, if we're not telling what happened in the past accurately.
Right.
So I think what she was trying to do was clarify this in order to be able to better learn from it, because you can't learn from a half truth as much as you can learn from the actual truth. And I think this is what we can talk about a little bit more into, is essentially like is the is essentially like, is the truth, is someone's feelings to the truth more important than the truth itself?
No.
I agree, but what we're seeing is the opposite. Right. If your truth makes me feel a certain type of way, I'm in the right in condemning you for speaking that truth.
Right.
Because it made me feel some type of way, right?
Right. Well, that my son, is something in which I've always told you and your brothers and sisters to never go away from speaking the truth. If you know it, speak it. If it offends somebody, but you're not using what you know in a malicious way or a malicious attack to hurt somebody intentionally, then speak your truth, no matter how it may sound, but always be respectful. All right. I remember telling you when you was in school, if you hear something that the teacher is not saying correctly, ask. Don't feel afraid to ask her or ask him, questions about what they're saying, and especially if you have an idea that this information is not being accurately taught. Always ask questions, but always in the right demeanor, to receive that in which you're seeking. So truth has everything to do with our feelings, but it shouldn't have everything to do with whether or not it should be spoken on. Now, like you said, when we speak truth and it hurts somebody's feelings, that truth speaker now loses, or now is being castricized as somebody who is mean-hearted, mean-spirited.
Yeah. So essentially, it's crazy. So in a sense, for speaking truth, you lose credibility, which is, I think,
not just you lose
total
credibility,
backwards.
but
right.
Not just lose credibility, but they try to silence you.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, look at Mr. Farrakhan. They took him off of Facebook and social media for what? Speaking truth. Now look at all of these doctors and scientists who are speaking against the you-know-what, and now they're being silenced. Look at Joe Rogan. He just had a doctor who was in charge of creating the mRNA, Dr. Robert Malone. Now, they try to silence him for just having another opinion or another fact be broadcast on his channel. So whoever is truth speakers, you know they are truth speakers when they are trying to now silence them from speaking. You don't supposed to silence anybody from speaking truth unless you've proven them to be a liar.
And I mean, regardless, especially in this country, we have what's called freedom of speech.
Of course.
And it's not even supposed to. Freedom of speech isn't supposed to. It does protect people that you agree with, but if anything, it's supposed to protect the person that you don't agree with.
Right.
So that when you disagree with someone and you're maybe in a position of power, you can't force your power or influence based on what they said. Right? Because they have the freedom of speech. Just because you have more power in society than they do, our freedom of speech is supposed to be able to protect that the voice and opinion of that person. I mean, I don't know if I doubt. I mean, by now, Whoopi's taking the stand. She apologized, so I don't think she's gonna come back at this.
And whenever we do say something about the Jewish community, for any of our people, that's what they force or try to force you to do. I mean, look what happened to Nick Cannon. You know what I mean? He said something that was truthful, and because he was said something about the Jewish community and they didn't like it, they forced him to apologize. Damn man, Savage, damn man took his whole career away from him until he apologized. Now, what are you saying sorry for? Speaking the truth or hurting the feelings? Now, he made it known in his statement that he was apologizing for hurting feelings. I mean, now was the intention to hurt those individual feelings? No, the intention was to speak truth. Now, because in the process your truth hurt somebody's feelings, that's not something to be sorry for. That's just something to just say. I would say, you know what, my intention wasn't to hurt your feelings, but truth be told, it still applies. You know what I mean? And, whether your feelings are hurt, not to say so what, but you can't apologize for something that you didn't intend to do. You know what I mean? Unless you had that thought of, I want to hurt this person's feelings at the same time, tell the truth. Now, you can apologize and just say, you know what, I didn't mean it in that manner for you to feel offended, but I still can't change what I'm saying.
Right, and that kind of goes into, what I'm saying, when you speak the real facts about something, when you speak those facts, are you also responsible for how you say it in a way in which the person that you're speaking to or the people that are hearing aren't offended, essentially, by the truth that's coming out of your mouth? And that's where that's where I don't subscribe to this, let me apologize for how I made you feel because I was telling the truth and the truth made you feel this type of way. Because that's reinforcing, let me not tell you the truth. Instead, let me tell you whatever's going to make you feel good.
Right.
And that's not what the truth is. The truth doesn't always make you feel good. Nine times out of 10, it's not supposed to make you feel good. It's supposed to be a learning lesson. And learning lessons aren't always gonna be sunshines and rainbows. You know what I'm saying? It's gonna make you question maybe yourself, your beliefs that you've had, and it's gonna make you sit down, internalize, look at yourself in the mirror, and reflect on that truth.
Right.
But it's not supposed to make you feel good, but it's supposed to do good for you. Right. So yeah, I say that. How do you feel about it, Pops? So essentially what I'm saying is like, when someone comes to you about the facts about something, do you concern yourself with, or essentially, do you focus on the way they come at you about it, about the truth? So how the truth comes out their mouth. Is that a concern for you, or I'll let you go ahead and take the table for that?
Nah, I mean, however truth comes across, whether it's in the tone of frustration, a tone of compassion, a tone of, sincere endearment and genuinity of being careful about what they're saying. It doesn't matter. Take the message for what it says, and if it's true, take the truth. However it's said, in the tone, or in by using curse words, let's just say a curse word is thrown in there. Never judge the messenger, but always judge the message, the information that's coming out of that person's mouth. I don't care if I need to see a doctor or a nutritionist and they're telling me something that is truthful. I gotta stop eating sweets, right? But then that same doctor lives a different type of lifestyle. What they said to me was true. What they do with themselves is something contrary. Don't judge what they do. Judge based off the information that they told you. You see what I'm saying? What they told me was truthful. It was honest. It's going to help me, like you said. If truth is going to help, then take the truth. Disregard that person's lifestyle, that person's, how they think. If they say something that's truthful and honest, take that for what it's worth. Leave everything else to the side. We get in trouble by doing that. We have a habit of, if I don't like this person, then whatever they're saying, I don't care. I'm not gonna listen to it. I'm not gonna take heed to it. I'm not gonna believe them because I don't like that person. It's not about whether you like the person. That has a factor in it. But if the person is saying something that's honest and true, recognize and acknowledge that.
So essentially you can't denounce the truth coming from a person just because you feel a certain type of way about that person.
Right. But we do that. So because Whoopi said what she said, in the Jewish people's eyes, who are the white Jews, they said, oh, what she's saying is preposterous. Of course it was about race. Right? But what if she was white? Would she have, would it be different? Would it be better?
Yeah, so we can look at it like that. So let's say Whoopi's a 65-year-old white Jew, because she is Jewish. Right. So let's say she's white.
Because she already said that she was Jewish, but she's black.
Right. So if this would have came out of the mouth of a 65-year-old white woman, would she have gotten suspended for 2 weeks and had to apologize? No. I don't want to answer that. Let's leave that for our viewers, to answer. So, and if the case is, if I look at it, I'm like, you know what, if it wasn't Whoopi, if it was somebody else, would she have gotten it? And if the answer is no, then that means we have a problem, because now we're just essentially like it's crazy, man. You're like, like we said, you can't control where the truth is coming from. You can only can just be grateful for the fact that it actually came out. And it's crazy because like they didn't even say and the spokesperson for ABC didn't even say, essentially, like he said the remarks of Whoopi were wrong. All her facts were wrong, but no proof to back it up. And based on that, they decided to suspend her for 2 weeks. And my thing is, going back to the actual show itself, the show itself is called The View, right?
Right.
It's not called The Facts. So your show is called The View, and the reason y'all call your show The View is because you have your co-hosts on there. Y'all have a topic of discussion, and each co-host gives their view, and then they talk about each other's views and opinions, and that's where it normally ends, right? So I mean, and like I said, Whoopi's normally the person, the co-host that essentially brings the calm waters to the conversation. So I say that to like, yo, like I'm sure they can pull clips from The View from the other co-hosts, where they may have said things that would have offended may have offended a group of people. But to take it to the step of, oh, we're suspending her for having her view when the show is called The View.
The View.
what are you teaching her? Oh, okay. So when she comes back from this 2-week suspension, now Whoopi, you better know there's certain things that you can't have a view on.
Yeah. And also at any given time, they could change the definition of the word, because when you refer to race, you refer to, like you said, was like a heritage.
Race is a social construct based on your physical traits and your ancestral lineage.
And ancestry lineage. Okay, so if you do the ancestry lineage for the European Jew and the European German, you're pretty much going to end up in the same place with the origin. You know what I mean? It's like, so they come from the same tribe, so to speak.
Right.
All right. So we are now involved in what I would like to say, describe it as, it's like somebody trying to perpetrate a lie, but it's now so easily caught, or is so easily found to be false.
All right.
It comes now as like, yo, you can't even. If I fall for anything else that the media says or tries to portray, and I fall for it, or immediately, there's something wrong with me. There's something wrong with me. You know what I mean? Because now everything has to be questioned. Everything has to be. Nah, I can't take your word for it no more. Let me do my own research. Let me do my own, looking into an investigation. You know what I mean? Because if I continue on allowing, and it is said, that if you allow a person who allows somebody to define words for them is a slave. That's what we're pretty much subjecting us to, slavery. If we're going to continue to allow a certain individual sect to decipher, to determine that what this person says is false or is wrong or is
even worthy of conversation,
right?
Because essentially what they're saying, like the way I'm looking at it, like I said, when I'm trying to research what Whoopi said and stuff like that, there's literally no fairness in essentially how they went about this. There's no Whoopi's point of view. There's only the point of view that Whoopi's wrong and she's wrong, and if you don't believe that she's wrong, you're just like Whoopi, will condemn you too. So I don't know. It's insane to me, because again, Whoopi, I mean, she's one of the, what I'm saying, I'm not someone that's starstruck when it comes to celebrities and stuff like that. But she's one of the very few celebrities that, actually has an impact on society. She does her fair share when it comes to giving back to her communities and stuff like that, and being a voice and a leader. So essentially, like this whole, we're gonna suspend her for 2 weeks to kind of teach her a lesson, so next time she knows not to speak on what we, what I'm saying, it's weird, man.
Right. Well, one thing we as a community we can't do though is allow somebody that's not in our community convince us or make us not like or not defend a person in our community. You know
right.
what I mean?
And that's my issue with this is like Whoopi was not even given the chance to defend herself, right? They just took the story and ran with the fact that she was just wrong on her stance. And I noticed also like they didn't really focus when news clips were doing their cover story on this topic. It almost seemed like they were trying their best not to quote Whoopi from the actual show, because like we show on here, if you get the context of what she was saying, you will see that she wasn't so far off,
right?
And to the point where okay, so why was she suspended for 2 weeks if she didn't say anything wrong?
Right.
And you know what I'm saying, I can look at it and say, well, maybe it's because of the platform itself. They want to stay as, you know what I'm saying, clean as possible when it comes to the image. So anything that brings controversy, they're gonna act this way towards. But that's not the case, because there's been several instances where, you know what I'm saying, things have happened on ABC Network that has gotten more attention, and they didn't decide to suspend the co-host or fire anybody because of comments made or anything like that. So I don't understand why this energy that's been given to Whoopi isn't something that they carry universally with everybody else as well.
Because it only applies to those faces that are not a part of theirs. Since we were, put in chains, we were always taught to tote the line, to not offend any white person, whether it's to look at them in their eyes or even say anything about anything that they done to each other. Now, she didn't say anything about what the Germans did to black people. She didn't say anything about the Jewish people doing anything to black people, even though they both did black people wrong. You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So in anybody's words or mouth spoken or speaks about another person doing another person wrong, when both of these people have done black people wrong. How dare you? Like, do you really have that much, authority over what my words have to say about these two people who you consider to be two separate people? And in my mind, I'm looking at both of them and seeing they're both white and they both call me nigga. The white German and the white Jew, they both look at me as a nigga. So, and if I say something pertaining to their beef, which is white on white beef, I'm being looked at as somebody saying something wrong? That doesn't make sense. And if it doesn't make sense, it's not appropriate, it's not true, and it's not backed by anything factual. So, make it make sense. Don't just throw it in my face and just say, oh, we don't like the way this was said. However, it was wrong. It was not accurate. Now that's something different. You know what I mean? But to tell her, to make her an example or suffer some sort of consequence, like 2 weeks out in the street because you said something that was actual fact, but we don't like it coming out of your mouth.
Yeah, because the thing is, they didn't give it any negotiating time, right? They if you read their comment from ABC themselves, they said we decided to suspend her immediately after the comments were made.
Right.
So
So what the heck she apologized for?
Same reason that Canada apologized for.
Oh, they buck broken. Cause you ain't, what else can you say? You know what I mean? You've been buck broken. But she's old enough now where she has money, right? So does she really need this job?
I mean, I can't speak on her financial status, or you know what I'm saying.
But she's been an actress for a very long time.
Right, absolutely.
TV, so it's not like
she's been. That's what I'm saying. She's been in the media for a very long time, so it's
right. So it's not like she's going without. If she loses the whole position at the View, they give her 2 weeks off.
If anything, she's a prominent reason why that show's as successful as it is.
Right.
So, like I said, it just amazes me how they came at her with this type of energy.
Right.
But it's not even. Yes, sir. But it's not deserved either.
Not at all. Not at all.
Now, if y'all want to come at her and have a fair battle, y'all should have did it with facts, to disprove exactly what she was saying. But again, I haven't seen that. I've just seen the denouncement of what her truth is without an alternative truth to look at.
Right.
Until then, I see it the same way Whoopi sees it, as it wasn't in the instance that she was talking about in the context of the conversation. She was correct in the words that she used.
Right.
I
agree with her. I agree with you.
And I don't feel like she should have dumbed down or altered her words to make it more digestible for anybody out there.
No,
she said what she said, and she said what she said for a reason, the way she said it, and you should be able to respect that.
And that's the problem, son, is that we respect actual truth, but it's just who is saying it. You know what I mean? I was watching Kwame Brown's interview with Gilbert Arenas, and in one part of the interview, they going back and forth, but Gilbert Arenas clearly states that because it's coming out of the mouth of somebody who didn't have a proven, in other people's visions or opinions, a proven NBA career, that he can't speak about anybody else in the league, because he isn't, in Gilbert Arenas' mind, isn't qualified. That's BS. You know what I mean? Who more qualified to speak about something other than the person that was involved in that in which they are speaking about? Right? Who more qualified than Whoopi Goldberg, who professes Judaism, to speak about her thoughts of the Holocaust? You see what I'm saying?
All right.
We can't determine. We can find qualifications in people, and I spoke on this last week. Some people are qualified, and then there's some people who just have the credentials but don't make themselves qualified. But what makes you qualified in the position of Kwame Brown and Gilbert Arenas is Kwame used to play. And he played the game for 12, 13 seasons. So he wasn't the so-called bust in which people were referring to him as. But now, because he is speaking out, and talking about sports, yeah, he's more than qualified to speak about a sport in which he played. It's common sense. Right. You know what I mean?
In comparison to other people that talk about the same subject, right?
Right. I mean, you got football players talking about basketball. They never played basketball, but they're talking about football. I mean, try to make understanding of what these people are saying. That doesn't make any sense. So now you're going to tell Whoopi Goldberg she can't speak about Judaism Because what? She's not a Jew? Oh, so I think they actually made it into a racial thing right now. You know what I mean? Because
Right.
what if she was white? What if she was a Jewish white woman? Or what if she was just white and not profess Judaism? She was a Christian. Would they make it a big thing then? Would they make it, a racial thing then? But because she is a black woman and she's saying something about it not being a racial thing, they say, oh, no. It's like, yo, you can't have your cake and eat it too. You know what I mean? But at the same time,
Right.
you can't change the rules of socializing when you feel fit to apply a rule change.
Right. And how I looked at it was, Whoopi didn't bring up the topic of conversation.
Mm-hmm.
The conversation was brung to her.
Right.
And you're upset with her response to a topic of conversation that you gave to her.
Right.
And the lack of respect to her response tells me, like, why my thing is, why did they even bring it up if they didn't want the subject to be touched on?
Exactly. Well, apparently not everybody's reading from a script. So if you go off script, just prepare for the consequences.
Right.
But prepare for the consequences and then buckling down on what you said was actual fact. Now I'm looking at that person. And I'm looking at Whoopi, like I looked at Nick Cannon. You've been buck broke. Because ain't no way in the world.
My thing is, you can't stand up then sit back down.
Right.
If you stand up, you might as well just take it. Just go ahead and just stand up
and
take whatever comes with it. Because the thing is, this is how I look at leadership. You know what I'm saying? You can't, as a leader, you can't get anything done unless you're doing it first, and then people can follow in suit with you.
Right.
And that's how leaders are made. When the majority is going this way, and there's that one individual that decides to look to the opposite direction. It always starts with that one individual, but the ideas and the truths that the individual is standing on is what drives others to follow. Right. So even if during that time of speaking their truth and getting their values out there and leading the way, let's say that person dies, or you know what I'm saying, is unable to continue leading, you've opened the door for others to walk in your same path.
Right.
But when you do it, you said Nick Cannon did and Whoopi has done, when you double down on what you actually believe in, then you make people that actually do follow you and sit back down as well.
Right.
So yeah, right. I mean,
no, they always just
right.
They follow you and sit back down, but they follow you to the point where they see you change course. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I support
you coward.
Speak the truth.
And
right now, you just showed me that you're a coward. You know what I mean? Like, you care more about your money and fame, and more afraid of that being taken away from you if you stand on this truth that you just spoke. You know what I mean? Or like they give certain celebrities, who claim that they follow Minister Farrakhan. They give them the litmus test, the Farrakhan test. Are you a follower of Farrakhan? You know what I mean? We seen you say a certain things and about the minister. Are you favoring the minister and everything that he says? And then what they do after that, they backtrack. Oh, well, I don't follow him everything. Some things I do disagree with him on. Well, such as what? Oh, but he says something about the Jews. What did he say? And then they start changing up the context of the words. You know what I mean? Oh, he called Judaism a gutter religion. No, he didn't. He said those who use Judaism or use Christianity or use Islam to shield their gutter practices. If I'm using something for a front and I'm doing something behind closed doors, that doesn't have any resemblance of the example in which I put in front of you. And I'm doing something behind the curtain. That is what he is speaking about. You know what I mean? So it's okay to say, I back Farrakhan and everything that he has said. Because nothing that he has said was ever derogatory or defaming one specific group. You know what I mean? It wasn't saying that Judaism is a gutter religion. Christianity is a gutter religion. No. But those who profess those religions but do evil things and behind closed doors. That is what is specified. Now, if you can't hear and listen to something so simplistic as that, then you automatically have exactly where you want a lot of people to go. And that's not in the direction in which this man is saying to go. You want people to go the opposite way. Now, why is that? Well, what is he saying? Who is he speaking against? Again, it's about Judaism. So every time Judaism or Jewish people are spoken of, what? It has to be spoken of in a bright, positive way? When the individuals that people are speaking about specifically haven't been positive and doing righteous things at all times? So because I say something, and look who owns the media. You know what I mean? Jews. They own everything. That's not a lie. That's a fact. You know what I mean? So everything is based off of facts. Now, if you don't like the fact, then change it. Change up the fact that all Jews run media, run the food industry, run the movie industry, run the music industry, run YouTube. You know what I mean? So if that is not what you like because it's being pointed out, then how about you change it? How about you allow more Black people to be owners of their own content, be owners of their own platform? You know what I mean? Without having to throw buckets of ice on them because they're bubbling, they're starting to grow. And now you say, oh, nah, we need to cool them off. You know what I mean? We can't let these Negroes get big too much because then they're going to start feeling themselves. So we got to put some ice on them. we got to put them back in their place. You know what I mean? They said, he said something against somebody that offended somebody. Okay, make them an example so that all the other Black people can see, hey, tote the line or you'll end up like this one.
Right, and that's what I want to focus on, which and say that's what happened with Whoopi, is that she made her comments, they felt a certain type of way about it, and they decided to make an example of her. So what I think that's what actually happened. She didn't say anything wrong.
What we should do in response to that is they're going to not watch The View until they decide to book her back on, or if she says, you know what, the hell with you, I quit.
I mean, like I told you, I don't know if you've ever watched the show, but Whoopi's there's like so at a given time there's maybe 4 or 5 other co-hosts on the show.
Right. But she's the original, right? She was there from the beginning.
I think she was from the beginning, and yeah. she's the main voice that of reason on the show, you know.
Right. She's the elder. I mean, why not?
Right. So this insanity of making an example out of her. You don't do that out of respect. You don't do that to a 65-year-old woman. Tell her that she's on timeout. She's too grown for that. That's what they did. They put Whoopi on timeout and said you can come back in 2 weeks if you act better.
You gotta learn your lesson. You gotta be what they do. They gotta be educated. they got to educate, people who say things out of their mind that we don't agree with. They got to take some education and they actually call it media training. So the education is being media trained. Let's just call it for what it is. You know what I mean? Wow. I'm back you, Whoopi. As long as you stand on truth and you don't apologize. If she would have apologized, I would have been okay with that. You know what I mean? Because that lets me know that she stands on what she says. But now that she apologized, now you've taken it back. I can't support that. Bro. I'm sorry.
Yeah. So that's how we feel about that. I think we'll definitely be watching this play out some more as the days go on.
This has definitely opened up a lot of things that are now being exposed even more, and it's just one peel off of the banana daily to the point where now it's all exposed. It's all going to be out there. You know what I mean?
Right.
With this government, with this media and everything is being unfolded, man. And it's just going to get even more worse, and it's things about to pop. That's what I'm saying.
Right. Yep. So we'll definitely keep an eye out on this story and this topic, and if new information is presented to us, we'll definitely be posting it on our channel, because I think we both agree that this is very interesting the way it's already started, and
yes, it is.
Where it's leading to.
Absolutely.
So yeah. Anything else you want to discuss today, Pops? Before we head out of here?
I mean, like I said, man, the main thing was, truth overall. Speaking the truth, being truthful and honest in what we say and what we do, and not having to worry about, the backlash, because truth speaks on its own. Truth, you don't have to fight, falsehood with truth. You just put truth out there, and it has to be proven false itself. You know what I mean? There's nothing. I don't have to force anything on anybody. I just speak my mind and speak that truth, and I let it fall how the pieces are gonna fall. But let's just be mindful of backing our own and defending our own. And not be subjected to the criticism of others for our own people. You know what I mean? If anything, let's judge our own people based off of our standards first. You know what I mean? And focus on that and not worry about what other people are saying about those in our community.
All right.
That's all I'm going to say. Yes, sir.
Awesome. So Pops, this has been episode 6 for us. It's in the books.
It's over already. It's in the books.
Yes, sir. YouTube viewers, please stick around this week, because we'll be having more shows this week. Hopefully, I'm trying to work out us having some guests on the show to speak to
Yes, sir.
to us all about some important information. I don't want to give any drops of that until the viewing of the live. But yeah, just make sure you stick around to hear some more valuable information. Again, if you support the show, please leave a like, comment, or subscribe to TwoTreys podcast. We'll be hitting y'all up every just about every day, Monday through Friday. And like I said again, stay tuned, because we'll definitely have some guests on the show that are going to be super interesting, and they're going to have some valuable information for all of us. And with that, that's episode 6. Pops, I will get the song queued up to lead us out of the show. Right. Is there anything else you want to add before we head out of here?
No, Lord. Other than that, Tags Healthy Wellness. I'm open until 2:00 today. there's another hour. So if you want to get your nutrition, come on over 117 Junction Drive, Ashland, Virginia, 23005.
Yes, sir.
Absolutely. Thank you, son.
We'll make sure we do that. Yes, sir. Absolutely, Pops. Been another great episode, and I'll see you tomorrow. So we'll go ahead and wrap this up. This has been episode 6.
Take us out with the fader.
Yeah, being doing big things. All right. Yes, sir. Right. So definitely check out my dad's Herbalife shop. Yes, sir. I'm gonna go ahead and get the music queued up for you guys, and we'll see you tomorrow.
Peace and love.
Peace and love.
You like me?
You like you? How do you know?
I know. The eyes, Chico. They never lie. Me, I want what to me.
Oh, well, what's coming to you, Tommy?
The world, Chico. And everything in it.
Check. 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 Here I go. Let me test this shit out. One mic check. Okay, I'm ready for the bout. This game's a challenge game. Lame, see me on the mountain. It's hell. A reference to my skill, crush some grapes, I'm squashing this beat. Love wine tasting with the world under my feet. Press the code, boom, he's new bomb, the new Godfather Don. Now I'm faced with the decision. It's so hard to be a Prince MC. I knew the world was mine before I turned age 3. I'm crazy cause I know my ambitions are a guarantee. So who are you to me when I am everything you wanna be? Now that's a good question. I can kick it, shit. Rap is in my spirit. If I throw a fit, I just might kill it. I submit. No one else but me can spit. I admit, in hip hop, y'all unfit. The game is bent. Who now does it represent? Cause it's only fueling the black discontent on the white rule continent. We in trouble, always living in the struggle. How can we rumble if all you do is mumble? If football is your best move to fumble, fuck the games. I don't leave my house for lanes, wearing chains and using baby names. If I have to, I'll save hip-hop on my own. I take stones to my bones to sit on the throne. Hail Prince Nicole, his name is my name too, and rain is past overdue. Me, I play my whole day, something that y'all can't say. Every day's my birthday, and everything is gourmet. I kick rhymes, make minds, I KO the headlines. I can't hear you from the sidelines. I'm focused on my future and my history. Always knew that everything is meant to be. Worked me like a slave, now I'm paid to the grave. Looking to save, but I don't wear a cape. The end of the braid, so I fight to be free. Might have lost you, but I never lost me. I move like water, outside this fire daughter. I'm making dollars out of quarters. Don't play games, coach, leave me into OT. All alone, it's just me and the trophy. Chris Nicole with the scar of a lion arrived at the perfect timing.